right, y'all. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do this and be on our best behavior, okay? Okay? Because I'm trying to stay focused because I'm already kind of fucked up. I also, before I had the 2 ginger ale and vodkas, I had 2 lemon drops. Or I had 1 ginger ale and vodka. Then I had 2 lemon drops. And then I also had a lemon drop before that. So really, I had like 4 lemon drops already. But whatever. Don't even worry about that part. This is season 2, episode 10 of I Swear to Drunk I'm Not God. And who are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Christine Chubbuck. Crickets? Yeah, crickets. Okay, cool. This is the life and death of Christine Chubbuck. Now, I said that earlier that I watched a movie on this, and I fucking did, and it destroyed me. Me and my homeboy Jeremy went to Music Box on the North Side to go see this movie called Christine, starring Rebecca Hall, and it came out in 2016, and it fucked me up, and I have been thinking about her ever since. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And the reason being is because, like, I think the following year I went to the Goodman and I went to go see a play, and the play, can't remember the name, but it was about a workplace shooting. And I'm gonna tell you about that at the end of this one, but this one fucked me up. I would also like to say, I don't know if you saw my TikTok earlier today, but this is one of those trigger warning moments. So if you experience any sorts of depression or anxiety, or if you have thoughts of harming yourself, please do not listen to this because it's depressing. Okay. Like I said, I can't make this entertaining. This is just rough. Christine was actually she was an American television producer or news reporter, and she gained her notoriety not because of her career, but because of how she died. Her death was very tragic, and it happened in 1974. So I'm going to sip. Hey, April. I met April this morning on live. Hey, April, welcome. Now, we're going to start from the beginning. So Christine was born on August 24th, 1944. She was born in Hudson, Ohio, to Margaretha D. and George Fairbanks Chubbuck. She grew up in a middle-class family, and she was the second of 3 kids. There was Greg, he was the baby, and there was Tim, he was the oldest. Christine attended Laurel School, which was a private girls' school. And that was in Shakers Heights, Ohio, where she excelled academically. She was very, very smart. Her brother Greg said that Christine, quote, used to make up words for things that didn't have a word. That's just how much she loved language. By 16, she was nationally ranked kayaker, which kudos, because me and water, I don't fuck with water. I got into a gondola when I was in Venice. It was upsetting. It was upsetting. It was nerve-wracking. I was like, why is this boat so low? Sitting in a fucking gondola is like sitting in a shoe in Lake Michigan. It's fucking weird. But she was ranked. She was a nationally ranked kayaker. She was also very good at puppetry and acting, which she later incorporated in her news broadcast. She eventually joined the University of North Carolina. She was in their acting summer program. And while in private school, she formed the Dateless Wonder Club. This was the club for rejected girls who did not have dates on a Saturday night. Here, look, I'm just going to stop because it's kind of brilliant. Because, like, low key, I mentioned this on another episode. Can we get back to, like, bachelor tables at restaurants and bars? If you don't know what the fuck that is, a bachelor table was like, it was where single motherfuckers sat. And they sat there because they were looking for people. And you when you showed up at the club, you knew who was single because they were over there. I feel like we need to get back to that a little bit. But anyway, so she created this dateless wonder club for girls who couldn't find a fucking date. Thank you, Dustin. Who couldn't find a date on a Saturday night. Now, according to Greg, Christine had a dry sense of humor, same sis, and she had a sharp tongue, same sis. But like a lot of the girls in that period of life, a lot of girls had sharp tongues. That's not even... Is that really unusual? She didn't feel like she fit in, though, because she was kind of strange. She was a little different. And after completing high school, she went on to study at the Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. That's mad confusing. You got Miami, Oxford, and Ohio. Like, we got to pick one. We got. Oh, period. It makes for a clear outing. No guessing and who to approach. Exactly. You know, and then anybody who lies about being single should just be flogged. Exactly. You didn't say that, but that's what I'm saying. So anyway, excuse me, but she only stayed there for a year. Then she went on to Endicott College in Massachusetts, then Ohio State. But then she finally landed in Boston University, where she pursued a degree in broadcasting. So this girl is doing what the fuck she's supposed to do. And she demonstrated a keen interest in journalism from a very young age. And she was determined to forge a career in the field. So we got some ambition there. But during her time at Boston University, Christine gained valuable experience working for a college radio station, and she honed her skills as a reporter and a broadcaster. She was known for her intelligence, her dedication, her passion for storytelling. According to her brother, she also had an older boyfriend. She was 21 at this time. He was 30. Her father did not fucking approve, and the relationship ended. This is probably where everything took a turn, because at this point, she never got another boyfriend. So I'm just go ahead and say that she was just like, it was done. Like after that relationship ended. By 1965, Christine graduated. Excuse me. You're going to hear a lot of that. After graduating from college, Christine began her career in journalism, initially working for small television stations in Ohio. So she worked at WVIZ from 1966 to 1967. And then she did a summer workshop at NYU in 1967. So this girl is winning, okay? Then she worked for WQED TV, which was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where she became an associate producer for two local shows. One was called Women's World and the other one was called Keys to the City. Christine felt like she needed a fresh start. She eventually left to work with a cable television company in Sarasota, Florida. Now, she continued to pursue her passion for reporting and worked for various television stations, including WTOG in St. Petersburg, but she eventually ended up at the ABC affiliate WXLT TV. Now, Christine was originally hired as a reporter, but then she ended up with her own talk show called Suncoast Digest, which ran at 9 a.m. in the morning. Obviously, that's what the fuck AM is. I'm tipsy. Sorry. She demonstrated a commitment to covering meaningful stories and addressing social issues within her community. So she was known for her professionalism. Like we said, never changed. She was incredibly passionate, and often she had some social issues, like, but what she did report on, though, was society and human interest stories. So even though personally she had all these social issues, she constantly reported about the community. So The show was pretty much a show about the local goings-ons. That was pretty much it. And as a reporter and anchor at WXLT TV, she was involved in various aspects of television news production. She conducted interviews, she researched stories, she reported live from the field. Christine's colleagues described her as intelligent, driven, meticulous in her approach to journalism. She took her work very fucking seriously. But then she had a funny side. Her funny side was later expressed by news director Gordon Galbraith. Christine had a bizarre sense of humor. This is a quote from him. He said, quote, "She was 29 years old. She had no problem admitting she was a virgin." Now, I'ma just say being 29 and a virgin sucks. I'm not a virgin. I'm not 29 either. And I wasn't a 29-year-old virgin either. But I can't imagine the frustration, right? Maybe? I don't know. Like, I feel like that's just mad frustrating to be a virgin at that age. Like, not even just the fact that, like, societally you're a virgin and, like, you're comfortably telling everybody you're a virgin, but also just the fact that, like, hormonally, Dustin said 2 weeks and I'm frustrated. 2 weeks? That's a large number, sir. Cause nigga. 48 hours later, I'm desperate. I'm like, fucking Tyrone Biggums. It's a mess. Like, chronically itching, you know, just like, oh my God, what do I do? I have one of those issues. She said, Shelly Belly said 2 days. 2 weeks is a long time, Dustin. I'm actually pretty fucking surprised. Hey, Boo. Boo made it. Boo made it. You know, I'm pretty fucking surprised. Like, Dustin, 2 weeks is actually pretty impressive, to be totally honest. What about you, April? What's your number? Since we're telling all our business on this here podcast. Where was I? I'm sorry. Being 29 and being a virgin is rough. I mean, she had no problem admitting that she was a virgin. So one afternoon, they were doing a mock newscast. And so she hops on. She's on, like, you know, doing obviously on camera. She had no qualms joking about this at all. And so she named herself Pristine Buttocks. I'm a fucking child. But this is multi-part. My homeboy Fleet, he just mentioned, he just sent me a video about people who, like, give the barista like a wild ass name. And then when the barista, you know, like, let's say it's Pristine Buttocks and you go up there and she's like, what's the name on the cup? Pristine Buttocks. And then when she announces your coffee, she says it all together. And she's like, coffee for Pristine Buttocks. And I was like, the universe works in mysterious fucking ways. Because I was looking, because her name's Christine Chubbuck. She named herself Pristine Buttocks. And I was like, is it rude if I go to Starbucks and do this? Because I literally just told my homeboy I wanted to do this. So thanks, universe. We now. Wait. Oh, are you talking about your new person, Dustin? Anyway, I'm moving on. I'm sorry. So she said, I am Pristine Buttocks, and here is the news. That's fantastic. So Luna be acting like a cluck. Now, with seemingly all this success, Christine constantly doubted herself. Her mother would try to help her, but she never really could get over her feelings, the feelings that she was having. She talked a lot with her family about her depression, so it wasn't like it was a secret. She had apparently attempted suicide in 1970 by overdose and was in fact seeing a psychiatrist. Now, mind you, this is the 1970s. According to Greg, her brother, Christine was bipolar, and her parents spent almost $1 million over 20 years trying to get her treatment. So they were really trying to help her find peace, because she was just, okay, I'm just going to get personal for a minute. When I was in school, this was in like 2005, I was diagnosed clinically depressed, right? And I'm going to tell you what that feel like. I don't know if any of you have ever had this experience. It is very, very strange. So the feeling that I was feeling was of immense sadness, uncontrollable sadness. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know it's like your brain, there's like two versions of you. It's like the part where you're like, snap out of it. And then the other part is like, nah, I like it here. And you just kind of stay there. And so like everybody I was around. So how my mom got triggered was because, and if you follow my TikTok, you know, I love music. How my mom got triggered was because I was on the rides home, I wouldn't sing, which is very, I'm not being poetic. Like, my mother noticed that while I was in the passenger seat, I stopped singing. Didn't matter what was playing. It could have been Drew Hill. I used to love Drew Hill, Kevon Edmonds, so many R&B singers. I used to love hip hop. She used to play All Eyes on Me, Me Against the World, Tupac. We used to listen to so much music in the car. She realized that I stopped singing. And so one day, like, we were in the car, my mom was like, something's not right. She was like, do you need to talk to somebody? And I was like, yes, I do. Because it was like, whatever that thing was in my head, and I didn't particularly want to share it with my mother, right? But I was like, I need to, whatever is going on, I need to get it out. Like, that's all I need to do. And so my mom, thankfully, had enough intuition, had good enough intuition where she was, nope, something's wrong with her, because she's never like this. I stopped talking, which I'm a fucking motor mouth. I stopped talking. I stopped singing. I stopped rapping, all of that shit. My mother was like, nope, there is something fucking wrong with you. And I was like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. So when I was reading this, and shut up. Hey, how you doing? When I was reading this, I was like, I get it. This isn't good. This isn't good. When you get to that point where you cannot control any of your fucking emotions and you are so sad and you cannot figure out, it's at some point where like you're not even sad about what you thought you were sad about. You're just sad about everything. So when this girl is talking to her parents and her parents are like, what can we do to help? And they're like, we're going to give you the medicine. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to make sure you go to therapy. We're going to do all of that shit. Thanks for the roses. The fuck? We're going to make sure you do all of the things, right? It's like, it's not, obviously in her case, it just wasn't working. So her parents spent $1 million over 20 years trying to help her find peace. Now, according to a 1974 report in the Washington Post, Christine's mother informed local reporters that, quote, she was profoundly depressed. She said, although she cherished her job, she lacked a fulfilling social life. She had no romantic relationships or prospects. At 29, she felt the weight of being unmarried, and it weighed heavily on her. It's too much. I don't even know what this shit mean. It's great. But then Christine had also spoke about suicidal thoughts, but no one really took them seriously. Now, again, this is the 70s. So let's, we also need to think about this like in context, because at the same time, not that psychiatry was at its infancy, necessarily, but people were still kind of clueless as to how the human mind works. So you could sit up here and say all day that you're not feeling well, that this isn't great or that isn't great, but that doesn't necessarily mean that even the doctors that you're telling this shit to, that they will understand. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're also filtering it through a patriarchal society where motherfuckers are like, women are just. Well, motherfuckers be like, she's just hysterical. Give her a sedative. Lock her up for 72 hours. It's like, the fuck? Lock her up for 72 hours and see what happens. I don't know if you all went back and listened to the episode I did with my sister. I did an episode on the Wineville chicken coop murders. I did 2 parts on that with my sister. And the reason why I did that was because I was telling my sister on another episode about the movie Changeling starring Angelina Jolie. And we were talking about how back then they used to just throw women into psychiatric facilities and throw away the fucking key and then just like give them lobotomies and like electroshock therapy in hopes that it was going to fucking fix them. And it never did. But she had some serious issues, and in the Changeling, it was different though, because I don't know if you all listen to it, but in the Changeling, the Wineville chicken coop murders, Colleen, nope, wrong one. Can't remember her name. Whatever. Fuck that. The mom, her son goes missing. LAPD tells her that her son is back. And she's like, oh, great. I'm going to go. Fantastic. But when they bring her the boy, it's a totally different motherfucker. It's not her son. And she's constantly like, no. I know my child. I had this child. I know who he is. And they're like, we think it is your child. And she's like, no, it's not my child. They end up throwing this woman into a fucking mental institution because they were like, LA is kind of fucked up and we can't take any more lumps. The police can't take any more lumps. So I'm going to need you to say that this is your child. And she's like, it's not my child. And they threw her in a psychiatric facility. They threw her in a motherfucking psych ward and started giving her all types of medicine, started drugging her to fuck up. Because they wanted her to be convinced that the boy that they couldn't find, that the boy that they were presenting to her was actually her son. So that I'm telling all of this to say that at that time, that fucking system, the psychology, psychiatry, all of it was fucked up. I don't know if even in the early 70s, I don't know if you really could have helped Christine Chubbuck. I don't know that you could have. I mean, they claim that she had been doing all types of medication. I think even if you leveled out her serotonin levels, you gave her medicine, I think there's a possibility that because she couldn't find a lover and because she had no social life, which I think we grossly underestimate how important it is to have a social life. Thorazine, yeah, for sure. But I still feel like environmentally, she needed to be around people People need to be around people. Shit. And maybe some people need to be around people more than others, but it's obvious she needed to be around people because we about to see what happens next. Okay. Now, it is believed that her preoccupation with the lack of intimate relationships is widely regarded as the primary catalyst for her depression. Oh, well, that's true. If people was around more people, that is definitely true. She expressed her distress to colleagues as her 30th birthday approached. Feeling upset by being a virgin, Christine's brother Greg acknowledged her difficulty in building social connections in the community. He attributed her persistent self-criticism regarding her single status as a significant factor contributing to her ongoing depression. And personally, I feel her self-deprecating humor made it worse. I used to do it. I still do it. But you know who do it? Who do it a lot? Insecure people. I love, I just did a whole Eminem thing. And I'm going to tell you, Eminem's self-deprecation didn't, it helped him and it didn't, right? He still ended fucked up. He still ended up fucked up and had to fix himself. Because even if you're telling the joke and you are the butt of your own joke, it doesn't fix the fucking problem. Like with me, when I was younger, I used to call myself fat and ugly all the time. It's then you get to a point in your life where you're like, yeah, this is probably not a good idea. If I have all these issues with myself, I should probably do something about them, don't you think? And that's how you end up making those modifications over time, because you're like, no, I don't. If you don't like that version of yourself, then you have to change that version of yourself that you don't like, but you can't make jokes about it thinking that it's going to make it better because you joke about it, because it doesn't. And you start to fucking believe it. Even when you fix it. Because even when you fix it, it isn't always good enough, right? You're like, okay, what else could I do? You're always making those modifications. It's not fucking good. I say all the time, I still do it. I still self-deprecate. But when it comes to those issues that I knew that I was really, really bad about, I tell people, because ultimately it's also just about the energy that you put into the universe. You're attracting that. If you constantly call yourself fat, ugly, broke, whatever the fuck, none of these things are good things. None of these things are things that people should do, because you're basically just bouncing it off in the universe. Words have fucking power. You can't do it. So that's where I think that's where I think that a lot of this could have been fixed if more people kind of helped her wrangle that into. Christine, stop doing that. Christine, don't do that no more. I don't like that. And you shouldn't either. That's not funny. Don't do that. I don't have a lot of friends around me anymore that call themselves names, but if you I don't know, maybe some of my friends can attest to this that's here right now. If I hear you call yourself broke, it's like you called me broke. I get furious. I get real furious. It's like, why? Why would you say that about yourself? Especially when I care about people, I'm like, why are you talking to yourself like that? Don't talk to yourself shitty. All right, I'm off my soapbox. I'm moving on. Now, there's truth in jest, is all I'm saying. Right? And Luna farted. She farted and it's killing me. What the fuck, dog? Wow. Like my eyes are water. It smells like a whole fucking adult just came in here and farted. Jesus Christ. Oh. Now, she had this habit of constantly putting herself down and brushing off any compliments, which I also stopped doing. Fuck it. You want to give me a compliment? Give me a compliment. Not right now. I'm not asking for compliments. Please don't do that. But I'm saying, if you want to give me a compliment, give me a compliment. I'm going to accept it. And I'm going to compliment other people as well. Because for many years, I didn't do that. I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable with compliments. Why would I give anybody else a fucking compliment? You know? How fucked up is that? So I stopped doing it. And my life has changed drastically since I stopped thinking that way. Thank you, Shelly Belly. Since I stopped thinking that way. So, all right. Okay, cut, print, check the gate, moving on. All of this adds to internal struggles. You know? According to Sally Quinn of the Washington Post, Christine had a crush on her coworker. His name was George Peter Ryan, but it was a classic case of unrequited love. She even went as far as baking him a birthday cake. Okay, pussycat. She was hoping to get his attention, only to find out that he was already taken by a sports reporter by the name of Andrea Kirby. To make matters worse, Kirby was Christine's work friend, and she was moving to Baltimore. Just sprinkle little abandonment on top of that disappointment and rejection. Fuck it. Just garnish that with... Just garnish that cocktail with a little bit of abandonment. Make it spicy. Why the fuck not? That's just adding insult to injury, because she was already desperate for romantic relationships, but she was also desperate for close friendships. And she often, though, pushed people away and was very abrupt and very defensive towards people. What the fuck is this? Hold on. What they want me to do? TikTok had me verify some shit. Okay, so where am I? She often pushed people away. Okay, so she pushed people away. Now, people tend to be bitter, and that I could see her being bitter and being upset and having an attitude. And she's also chronically fucking depressed. You can't dismiss that part. That part is hard, right? Like, I'm angry. Duh. The fuck? I don't want to talk to you and I want to be your friend, even though I want to talk to people and I want people to be my friend. My brain's not working. Her brain's not working, but that's not how people are seeing it, because not everybody knows what's going on with her. She told people, but she really told her family and she told her coworkers. But when she interacts with other people, even though she's craving these social relationships, she's also pushing motherfuckers away. Bitch, I wish you figure your shit out. Like, did you have vodka? Okay, you need to go. Please hold. You want to get down? I think she's drunk. So, to add insult to injury, Christine had her right ovary removed in 1973 and was told that she would have to have a baby within the next 2 or 3 years or she would never be able to conceive. Just add a little extra. Just add more. Just fucking keep pouring. Just keep pouring. Like, this girl is not experiencing a fucking enough. Now, she's already depressed. She's already insecure. She's already lonely. She feels like an outsider. And then this shit. She can't have kids. The clock is now ticking. If she can't find no man now, fuck, 2 to 3 years. In relationship years, that's like a month. Who would know how to deal with that? Who would know how to deal with that? It's too much. And you know, this is important to note too. And I know, and because in my head, it's like, damn, she got so much, she got so much ambition in her career and everything is she's so golden. If she would have just waited, she'd just wait. If you just wait, you know? But then you think, you're like, oh. When it rains, it pours. And you got a person, it's happening all at the same time. This girl is not even 30 yet. I got the great career. I don't have a man. I don't have any friends. I'm unwed in the fucking 70s. And you just removed one of my ovaries and told me that I got 2 to 3 years to start having children. That is extra. The following year, 1974, Christine had casually mentioned to Night News editor Rob Smith that she had purchased a gun and she had made a joke about ending her life. Smith, unsure of how to respond, thought that it was just a fucked up joke, and he changed the subject. Later, Christine hosted a party. One attendee being Craig Sager, who would later become a renowned sideline reporter for Turner Sports. Sager recalled, quote, "She seemed to be having a blast. It was like, wow, this is a whole different side of her." This is what he thought while he was at the party. The attendees would later find out that they were attending a farewell party. On the morning of July 15th, 1974, Christine surprised her colleagues at WXLT by announcing that she'd be anchoring a newscast for the first time on Suncoast Digest. As her guest waited on the other side of the studio, Christine took her spot at the news desk. Christine informed the control room that she intended to utilize pre-taped footage of a weekend shootout. She meticulously crafted a 10-minute script on a typewriter, took her seat at the anchor desk, and readied herself for the segment. At 9:30 a.m., the show commenced live. However, when Christine requested the control room to cue the footage of the shootout, things hit a snag. Instead of... I just saw a comment. It was funny, and this is not the moment. Hold on. Instead of the anticipated video, viewers were met with silence. A technical glitch left them with dead air. In the opening minutes of the program, Christine covered a few national news stories before turning to a shooting incident at the local restaurant, Beef and Bottle, that's the name of the restaurant, that had occurred the previous day. Encountering a technical glitch with the film showing the restaurant shooting, Christine casually remarked on the camera, "Scene. In keeping with our commitment to delivering the local news, we've got something you won't see anywhere else. An exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide."
And finally were nabbed by Sarasota Sheriff's deputies. Early Sunday morning, the Beef and Bottle restaurant north of Sarasota Bradenton Airport on US 41 was the site of an attempted armed robbery and shooting. TV40 newsman Bob Peterson was on the scene shortly after it began, and he filed this report. Sorry, for those of you who saw late night weekend news watch last night, We did have a film report and a commentary by Bob Peterson. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties and cannot bring it to you now. However, News Watch tonight at 5:30, and we'll have that story for you then. As of this morning, Grace Foster, who was shot in that incident, is in satisfactory condition at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. In keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news, TV 40 presents what is believed to be a television first. In living color, exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide.
With that, she pulled out a .38 caliber revolver from her bag beneath the desk. She placed the gun against her head, just behind her ear, and she pulled the trigger. Christine shot herself behind the right ear. The broadcast quickly faded to black as Christine collapsed. The station then aired a PSA followed by a movie. Some viewers were shocked. They called the police, while others phoned the station, wondering if it was a hoax. After the incident, news director Mike Simmons found Christine's paper with a detailed script of the entire program, including instructions for the reporter for reporting her condition as critical. Quote, TV 40 news personality Christine Chubbuck shot herself in a live broadcast this morning on Channel 40 talk program. She was rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she remains in critical condition. Christine was rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she was pronounced dead 14 hours later. The news of her passing was spread to other stations using the script that she fucking wrote. In the aftermath, WXLT replaced Suncoast Digest with reruns of the TV series Gentle Ben for a while, because they were like, what the fuck? We don't even know what to do. The aftermath of Christine Chubbuck's on-air suicide left everyone reeling with shock, sadness, and a lot of fucking questions. What could push a person to do this? Mike Simmons, who was at the time the news director for WXLT when Chubbuck died, remembered how she had approached him just weeks before her death, asking if she could cover a news segment on fucking suicide. He gave his approval, and she reached out to the local police to discuss different methods people use to attempt suicide. Tragically, it seems Christine took their insights as suggestions. Adding to this, just a week before her death, she made what her colleague Rob Smith thought was a joke. Chubbuck casually mentioned to Smith that she had recently bought a gun, and when he questioned why, she quipped, well, I thought it'd be a nifty idea if I went on air live and I just blew myself away. Sip. Unfortunately, Chubbuck, she wasn't fucking joking. As police entered the studio to investigate the incident after Chubbuck was rushed to the hospital, they discovered that the script she written that morning didn't end with her final words. Instead, she left a report for her own suicide attempt. The script detailed how she had shot herself and had been rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital in critical condition, and it made no mention of her death, just in case her attempt failed. Which is very, very methodical. Reflecting on the profound impact of Chubbuck's final moments, Smith remarked, quote, Chris and I once talked about Andy Warhol's notion that everyone will be famous for 15 minutes in their lives, and this was her 15 minutes. Christine Chubbuck became the first person to die by suicide on live television. Christine's body was cremated, and her funeral took place on the beach where her ashes were scattered into the Gulf of Mexico. Around 120 people attended the ceremony, including the local officials who had appeared on her show. The service included 3 songs by her favorite singer, Roberta Flack. Presbyterian minister Thomas Beeson delivered the eulogy, expressing the varied emotions felt by those who knew her. Despite her tragic death, Suncoast Digest continued airing with new hosts for several years. Mike Simmons, the station director, emphasized that Christine's suicide was not related to the station, stating, quote, "The crux of the situation was that she was a 29-year-old girl who wanted to be married and wasn't." The broadcast of Christine's death had remained unseen since its original airing, prompting numerous theories about its whereabouts. One theory suggested that the station owner, Robert Nelson, kept it and his widow, Molly, possessed it. However, it was confirmed in June 2016 that the recording existed and had been in Nelson's possession before being entrusted to a law firm for safekeeping by Molly, who had no intention of releasing it publicly. Now, I will say this. I have the recording. No, the TV delays are due to Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor, I think he had an NBC show back in the day. His NBC show, he, it was like SNL, like or Dave Chappelle, was like sketch comedy. And Richard Pryor is the reason why there's a delay in television, because he cursed too much and they wanted to be able to catch him. So that's the answer to that question. It's not because of Christine. So that's the life and death of Christine Chubbuck. And it's very sad. And what I mentioned before, so there's 2 things. So Christine is a movie that came out in 2016. It stars Rebecca Hall. If you want to see it, it's a movie. It's not a documentary. It's fucking nominal. It's a great movie. It's just a hard subject matter. Rebecca Hall is a wonderful actress. She plays Christine very well. The part of the movie that fucked me up was the fact that, like, I knew what happened. And so during the movie, you're waiting for the moment. You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly waiting. I mean, that's with anything. When you know how a movie ends, it's like watching Titanic and you're like, when does the boat sink? It's like you're waiting for it. So that's what makes that movie hard to watch. When I looked it up, it is on Tubi. It's on Plex. It's on like all of those shows, and it's free. So if you want to watch it, just watch it. It's a great film. It's a great film. There's another one that's called Kate Plays Christine. I haven't watched that. I didn't read a book. I had to look at all, shut up, Tubi and chill. This motherfucker don't take shit seriously. I didn't read a book because I couldn't find one. So I had to look at a lot of news articles and things like that. Usually I let everybody know what book I read, but I didn't read a book. I had to figure all this shit out. And there wasn't much to figure out. I mean, her family, her brother speaks out a lot. There's a People article with him. There's a lot of news reportings and shit like that. But there isn't a lot of context. If you listen to I Swear to Drunk I'm Not God, my podcast, my episodes are usually 2 hours long. Because I usually start from the very fucking beginning. I'm usually talking about their parents, and everything that, led to that point. But with her, I think this was just a chemical imbalance. It wasn't due to her upbringing. I don't think it was because her parents were abusing her or anything like that. She grew up a very modest middle-class life. So it wasn't like her life was fucked up. We're just talking about somebody who was depressed and who at the end of the day was dealt shitty cards, in that, like, she wasn't a person that was going to easily just quick get married, quick have a kid, but she was very ambitious and she was moving up the corporate ladder. She just didn't, hang on for long enough to actually make it happen. Hold on. My dog is being an asshole. You want to get on the floor? Come on. So, like I always say, I know you didn't enjoy it, but at least I hope you learned something. It's hard. It's hard to enjoy this shit, but you know, I try to make it as entertaining as possible. Oh, and another thing I really wanted to mention. So there was a play. And this is gonna take a minute because you know me, I got to give you all the fluff. There was a play that, thank you, boo, that I saw back in can't remember. It had to be 2017, roughly. And it was over at the Goodman. Can't remember the name of it either. It was about a workplace shooting. So I'm going to set the scene. Audience member, sitting in the audience, enjoying myself, right? Play starts, cubicles, all of these workers talking amongst themselves, talking about this, talking about that. They setting up the characters. And then they set up this kind of like strange girl, right? Who like, is kind of weird. She's like kind of like the office weirdo. I remember it was an Asian actress. She says, I'm going to go to Starbucks. And they were like, dope. Okay, cool. I want the caramel macchiato. I want a caramel frappuccino. I want a shot of espresso, whatever. She gets the orders and she leaves. Well, while she's gone, or before she leaves, actually, they were having a conversation about this party that this weird girl had. Like, she was like, yeah, you know, oh, did you go to the party? And she was like, oh my God, no. This is what they're talking about before she goes to get the coffee. No, oh my God, no, I would never. Like, she's so weird. I barely talk to her here. You know what I mean? Like, they're having that discussion. The Asian girl goes, she leaves to go get the coffee. She fucking comes. She doesn't come back for a while, obviously. But while she's gone, they're still talking shit. Crazy girl walks into the cubicle area with a gun and shoots everybody. And when I say everybody. Now, mind you, I go to a lot of motherfucking plays in this town, and I have never seen a workplace shooting on stage. I was very confused. Me and my homegirl was sitting there, and we thought it was real. Everybody in the theater thought it was real. There was one special effect now mind you, I work in fucking television, but I'm not used to seeing this level of special effects makeup in theater. So I was confused. Mind you, this was one of those moments where we went to go see a play that we knew nothing about, which we used to do all the time. There's a moment where the girl shoots one of the guys, the guy that was talking the most shit. And he has on these glasses. I don't know how they did this shit on stage, live. Glasses break, blood splatters out of this motherfucker's eye. Did I say this was at the Goodman Theater on stage? I was confused. And you know what that was? Into Act 1. So now we're sitting here at intermission trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. Baby girl came through and killed everybody in her workplace. I was confused as fuck. I was like, I don't know. Should we leave? It's like, God damn, this is too real. This feels too real. So the whole story, I guess baby girl was weird. She invited her coworkers to a party. Only one or two showed up, but then she killed everybody. The Asian girl comes back, finds all of her coworkers dead, and is like, whoa, what the fuck? And then the subsequent acts is all of them capitalizing off this workplace shooting. Everybody writing books, planning to produce documentaries, going to agents, fucking talking to producers to get the story. I was like, this is so fucked up. But it was so interesting to see because it made me realize, I mean, in that moment as a spectator, I remember sitting there, and I'm equating this to this moment because I can't imagine the shock of having something like that happen so quickly and out of fucking, I was just sitting here talking shit, drinking coffee. And this motherfucker just came in and shot me. Same thing with Christine. I was just watching the news. And she just pulled out a gun and shot herself in the head. Like, so anyway, on my episode that I'm going to drop tomorrow at 6, there will be a clip of the recording because I have it. So, yeah. But I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Did you all enjoy the episode? I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you all learned something. If you didn't learn something, then whatever, who gives a fuck? But if you are anybody who's battling with any sort of anxiety, or you have thoughts of taking your own life, please call the suicide prevention hotline, suicide crisis support in your area. Please do not ignore that, because I promise you, it is just a chemical thing. It's just chemical. It's just chemical. Things will get better. Worse things have happened to people. Dustin, the world needs you. Don't just try your best to do everything you can to not. I was asking myself this entire time too, was just like, damn, the one thing she had, I don't even want to hear your moral of the story. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Because something about me, my spidey senses are telling me that the moral of the story is going to be related to dick. And I'm going to just say, we ain't got time for that. We trying to be serious for like 5 seconds. Not her giving eyeballs like, what's the moral of the story? What's the moral of the story, my guy? Like, what's the moral of the story? Anytime somebody says I said she was deprived because that's true. And let's you know what? But that's a good thing. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding fucked up. Companionship, and not just sex, but companionship matters. Right? Because people like, and we've all been guilty of, I could do this by myself. Yeah, but life is more enjoyable with people though. Right? You could do it by yourself. I'm not saying don't do it by yourself. I'm just saying that there's also the part of this where human beings need social fucking interaction. You need people. So even if it's not somebody that you fucking, it could be somebody that you talk to, that you like, that you can relate to, that feeds your fucking soul, right? Like, you need people to feed your soul. We live in this thing where it's like, oh, well, all I need is this. All I need is TikTok. All I need is social media. No, that's not true. It's not true. No, it isn't. That's not all you need. It's hard because if all of this shit were to go kaput, TikTok gone, Instagram gone, Facebook gone, internet gone, what you got? Who you got? You need real fucking relationships, and not just you don't just need quantity. You need quality. Because there's nothing worse than having 20,000 motherfuckers around you that serve zero purpose when you could have like 5 motherfuckers around you that do exactly what you need them to do. There's nothing worse. It's like you just taking up all this air for no motherfucking reason. Like, God damn. Genuine connection is great. Genuine connection is needed. She had all these experiences. She probably had professional connections all day. But just like a person who works in television, I know that when my show is fucking over, most of these motherfuckers I'm not going to talk to ever again. We can sit up here and pretend like we family for the past 12 years if we want to. But none of them I can call when shit gets weird. Not one, except my best friend, of course. One of my best friends that I work with. No, I'm not calling them being like, this is... No, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing that with those people. You do that with people that you have real ass connections with. Real fucking hearty ass connections with, and motherfuckers who can contribute something to you that's going to fill your cup. And it takes a lot of work because we so used to just putting people in a position to do all of these surface level fucking things. But okay, what happens when that surface level thing is like done? Like you got that person that always has the drugs. Is that your homeboy, or is that the guy that always has the fucking drugs? Or the guy, the guy who always, has the hookup at the club. That's not your friend. That's the hookup for the club. Like, are you going to call your hookup for the club and tell him that your mom died? Probably fucking not. Probably not. I hate Canada Dry. This sucks. I like Seagram's better. So, I fuck with y'all. And I said this before. I lost a lot of friends in 2022. And the few that I have, I want them to be of value. Because at this point, I value my space and my energy so much that if you take up too much of it and you don't know what the fuck to do with it, I need you to skedaddle. Because you're exhausting. And I don't like it. That's it. I was talking about this with my therapist because I told her, I was like, I'm fucking done with this whole idea of dating. Until somebody enters my presence that I feel like is worthy of the experience that I provide, I'm not fucking interested. Period. And nobody's going to convince me otherwise. I'm a Taurus. You can't convince me of shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting it. So I'm not going to take up any more of y'all time. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'll see you all in 2 weeks. I kind of know what I'm going to do 2 weeks from now. Kind of. I'm getting ideas. People are starting to send me ideas, which I fucking love. Like I love that because I call my mom and my mom's getting sick of this shit. My mom met Keanu Reeves the other day. He's on her movie and she was like, he's not that tall and he drives a Volvo. She was like, I was surprised by both of those things. No disrespect to Volvo. It's the safest car on the road. But she was like, God damn. I was like, John Wick deserves the safest car on the road. She said he's incredibly nice. He speaks to her every day. He speaks to everyone every day. So if you needed any more reason to love Keanu Reeves, there you go. That. If you don't take nothing else from this live, I just gave you more reason. Okay, Fleet, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I tried to watch John Wick and I was like, this is fucking a snooze fest. Oh my God. Do you know it has taken, I literally just finished John Wick a month ago, the first one. Like, I was like, why do people watch this shit? First of all, Matrix, that last Matrix was boo-boo. Like, dookie shoot. And my sister knows the Wachowskis because she's been working with them and she was like, ill. And then I tried to watch John Wick. First of all, dog death. Y'all already know how I feel about that. My dog was killed by my ex-boyfriend. I don't fuck with that shit anyway. But I tried to watch it years ago. Then I tried to watch it last week and I was like, or last month. And I was like, this is boring. This is the most boring action movie of all time. Then I got to the second John Wick. I made it to the second John Wick and I just KO'd. Just fucking flat out fell to fuck to sleep. Just like ugly sleep. Drool sleep. Okay, first of all, Dustin, see, I'm going to need you to adjust that. See, hating the Matrix is one thing. Which, all of them? I'm going to wait because I need to know. Speed. Speed. And first of all, fuck you for not liking the Matrix. At least the first two. I like Matrix 1 and Matrix Reloaded. Matrix 3. Oh my God, can we stop? Hold on. Back up. Hold on. Stop. Thank you for joining I Swear to Drunk I'm Not God. This is the end. I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Have a good one. Bye.